For the next few minutes, we're going to go over the safety procedures and operational precautions for the Magnum Dolly system. Now, like with any specialized piece of equipment, there are certain things you need to pay particular attention to so that we don't damage the dolly, the equipment attached to the dolly, or somebody nearby the dolly. Some of the precautions might seem obvious, while others are specific to this dolly. Let's get started with the obvious ones. Keep the system dry. Water and electronics don't work well together. Protect the mechanical parts from blowing dirt and dust. Assure that the dolly is stable and balanced at all times. Assure that the area around the dolly and its attachments are free and clear. And do not move the column up or down unless properly loaded. Key to this dolly and one of its peculiarities is that it needs to have a load on it to retract the dolly. So this Magnum Dolly system, as you see it setting here, weighs about 170 kilograms. That's about 307 pounds, a considerable amount of weight. But when you add a camera system, 2 operators, and other attachments, we have a bit of mass that we have to be careful about how we move it. Now, it is really critical that that weight be centered and balanced on the column. And in other videos coming up, we're going to talk about the attachments, what they will do to the center column balance, and how to counterbalance that. Key areas on the dolly to keep dry and dirt free as possible are the electrical unit located here on the center of the electrical mechanical column, and these open seam areas where the upper and lower columns move. It's unavoidable to work in less than ideal environments. Just take simple steps to cover these parts up when it's raining or snowing or blowing dirt and dust. This will keep the system working properly. This special cover goes over the column and can be used when in production. It fits around the entire column and snaps underneath the legs. This white cover can cover the entire dolly when in storage. The main computer brain for the dolly should be protected like any other electronics. Keep it dry. If it's raining or snowing, use the column cover or an umbrella or some other way of keeping the dolly as dry as possible. The column controller and its coiled cable is another area of concern. This can present an issue when you're working. It can get caught in things, various parts unknowingly as you move around the dolly, but worse yet, it can get caught here between the column separations. When the column comes down, it can crush this cable, ruining the electrical wires that are inside and rendering it useless. It's really important that you read this manual and know everything that's in it, and it pertains to this dolly. There's some interesting information in here that really helps you with the safety operation of the dolly and people around it. For example, how much weight can the dolly carry when the column is all the way down? How much weight can it carry when it's all the way up? Those are 2 different numbers. Now, interestingly enough, grips know a fair amount of engineering and construction and things that support camera systems. This is part of their job, and you must know these details in order to be a professional dolly operator. Sometimes the hardest part of your job is making sure that everything attached to the dolly or around the dolly is safe and clear. This dolly has the force to raise and lower and bend attachments or break attachments to the column, or worse, ruin the electromechanical column itself. It's always advisable that you double check before making a move and test your move to make sure everything is clear before actually doing the shot. It's the dolly grip that is solely responsible for the safe operation of this dolly and the safety of the operators from the camera department that are on the dolly. If dolly grips do nothing else, they make sure that everything is safe and operational, and they make sure it's ready for another production day. Now, you're the last word as a dolly operator on safe operations. And there might be a time when you're asked to configure this dolly in a way that makes you feel a little bit uncomfortable. If you rig this dolly up in such a way that the camera department requires, and you walk away saying, geez, I really hope that will be safe, that's probably not the right answer, and you definitely want to take some time and fix that. Okay, in the next few modules, we're going to go over every part of this dolly and all of the subsystems. And within those are going to be other operational procedures and safety tips that must be followed.